Turnbuckle Tavern's YouTube page and another edition of On the Spot. Before we get into that question, make sure you guys click on the link in the description below, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, follow the link to our podcast page where you can subscribe, rate, and review to that. The link will also take you to our Twitter, our Instagram, and our Pro Wrestling Tees store. And you can click the bell up in the corner so you can turn on notifications when we do new videos. But now, last week, I gave you an on the spot, and I believe this week is your turn to give me an on the spot question.
Yeah. So you have no idea what I'm about to ask you.
Nope.
It's on the spot. We're going to call it in the ring.
Yep.
All right. My on the spot question for you this week. Excluding the Undertaker, who do you think is the best? Maybe not even the best. Who is your favorite spooky gimmick? Either
spooky gimmick,
either a supernatural element or a horror element, a horror vibe, but outside of the Undertaker, who we all know is the greatest. Who do you think is the best or your personal favorite? However you want to caveat your answer.
Yeah. Okay. There's a couple that pop into mind immediately. Let's see. I mean, the one that pops into my mind immediately is Papa Shango.
Oh yeah.
That's one that pops into my mind immediately because, and maybe it was a little gimmicky, and maybe now looking back on it, it's like one of those just dumb WWE gimmicks or WWF gimmicks or whatever. But when he was doing his thing, I was young enough to where when he was making the tar come out of Undertaker or Ultimate Warrior's head, it affected me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
we were at a perfect age for that.
Yeah. It, that 100% affected me when when Warrior had that nylon white WWF jacket on and he's out there talking and he's holding his head and he looks and there's black tar on his hands.
Yeah. Yeah. The black tar's running down his face. Didn't he give him like stomach cramps? Like where he was getting,
he was like throwing up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's one that always, that immediately pops out, but there's so many. I mean, there's so many.
And I feel like the Papa Shango gimmick was short-lived.
Oh yeah, it wasn't around a lot.
I feel like they could have got more legs out of that. Maybe, maybe for the adult fan at the time, it was a little hokey or maybe over the top, but as a kid, man, that had me. Like you said, he came out with he even had the skulls, and the look. I mean, that look was so just catching.
Yeah. Charles Wright had the tattoos and the way he looked and when he painted his face like the skull and would wear the black top hat. It was, I don't know, man. To me, that affected me more than any other just spooky character. I mean, other than the Undertaker, because that was just, I mean, that's all-time top spooky character ever.
And it's kind of odd that they never, to me, that's the New Orleans voodoo gimmick. Was it ever replicated? Because I feel like that's such a good gimmick.
I mean, the only other time that they did a character that had that much to do with spook, like the way that character was almost like the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of had that feel, but even with that, I mean, it wasn't, And
now obviously we have Bray Wyatt, the Fiend.
Yeah, the Fiend was great, or is great. And I mean, there was Mankind when he first came in, he was in the boiler room.
Yeah.
You had, God, it's kind of, being on the spot, you kind of, I mean, there was Boogeyman, there was
Mordecai,
Gangrel,
Gangrel, and
and
the
the Brood.
Brood. That was
Yeah,
great. That was a really good one. A deep cut that lasted for about 30 seconds was Dustin Rhodes 7 in WCW.
that's one, and I almost said that because that popped into my head, but the I would have loved to have watched that character kind of evolve into what it was, but I mean, with honest, and it's crazy because with that character, I'm happy with the way they did it, and I would have been happy with the way they would have done it.
Oh yeah, because like I remember we were teenagers, I think, when 7 debuted.
Yeah.
And when he floated down to the ring, and they had those vignettes leading up with him in the window with the little kid. The kid puts his hand against the glass, and 7 is giving that spooky commentary over top.
Yep.
Man, when he floated down to the ring, I was all in. I was like, oh shit, this is. And then Dustin Rhodes gets into the ring and just instantly kills it. Now, there's multiple stories I've heard about this. For the longest time, I heard that Dustin Rhodes hated that gimmick.
Yeah.
But then recently I read that he liked it, but they killed it the night of. He found out that they wanted him to go out and bury the gimmick.
Right.
So I'm like, because it was almost like a Western boogeyman type character. I loved the look, the white with the black flat top brim hat. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, he had it was an Undertaker style hat, and he had didn't he have a black duster on too?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. But yeah, for me, the one I think that sticks out is Papa Shango.
That's a great one. Big Papa Shango fan as a kid, so I can get behind that.
And it was one of my it was one of the more interesting looking Hasbro figures too.
Oh yeah, he came with the skull necklace, or no,
Yeah.
it was like a bone necklace.
It was bone necklace, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I wish the top hat would have been removable, but
yeah,
you get that with Hasbro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more, but that's the one that sticks out.
That's a good one.
What about you? What is your?
I mean, Papa Shango's right up there. Modern day Bray. I think spooky gimmicks are so hard to pull off.
Yeah.
You know, like when the fact that the Undertaker pulled that gimmick off for as long as he did, and it never felt hokey.
Right.
It never felt, but so many times they feel hokey.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Papa Shango obviously as a kid, but if I were to really pick one, I would probably say Kiss Demon. No, I'm fucking around.
But nothing like some Del Toro board to get you, to get you spooked out.
No, I would, if I had to pick, I would probably go the Brood, just because I loved their entrance. They came up through the Ring of Fire. They're holding the goblets. Then they went through that phase where they were bloodbathing people. The lights would go off, and when they come back on, the people are covered in blood. I love the Brood.
You know, and here's another one that I didn't really think of, but the Dungeon of Doom in WCW, and like they were so gimmicky, but Kevin Sullivan was I feel like he always just seemed, I don't know if he seemed crazy or spooky, but
both. I mean, he was, that entire faction is definitely like where we talk about Undertaker was able to pull it off. That is the complete polar opposite end of where it's just hokey as shit.
So who was in the Dungeon of Doom? Was it the Zodiac? Was that who?
That was Brutus the Barber Beefcake was Zodiac. We had,
I want to look them up real quick.
We had Earthquake. I think he was the Shark.
Yeah.
You had the Taskmaster. Kevin Sullivan, who was the leader. You had the Giant, Big Show.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
Giant was a member. I think that's where he came. He debuted in the Dungeon of Doom.
Was Jimmy Hart a manager of them?
Yes. I think the
Okay.
Faces of Fear was in the Dungeon of Doom, which was Ming, Haku, and the Barbarian. They were almost like the NWO. They had so many damn members.
Yeah. Kamala was in there.
Kamala, yeah.
Ming, Big Van Vader. That's crazy. Yeah, they did have a lot of people.
Yeah, you had the Vader.
Oh, here's a oh my God. Here's a list of people who was in. This is on Wikipedia and the members of it.
Okay.
The Master, the Taskmaster, Kamala, Lex Luger, the Yeti, Jimmy Hart, the Shark, Big Van Vader, the Zodiac, Ming, the Giant, Hugh Morris, the Barbarian, Conan, Max, Glacier, Big Bubba, Braun, the Leprechaun, One Man Gang, Z Gangsta, the Ultimate Solution, Loch Ness, and Jacqueline.
Jesus. There's a lot of people in there that I'm like, how did you fit into the dungeon? Like Conan. How did Conan fit in there?
Yeah, it says he was in there from 96 to 97. Who was Braun the Leprechaun?
I remember the Leprechaun guy.
Oh, it was Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker.
Yeah.
That's so good, man.
Oh God.
I used to love the Sergeant Parker character because he'd come to the ring writing tickets to people.
Yeah.
I remember him on some old like Clash of the Champions coming out with a ticket book and writing tickets.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Oh man.
That was a good one. That was fun.
Yeah, that was definitely, none of those guys were in the top of the best spooky gimmick outside of Undertaker.
You talking about members of the Dungeon of Doom?
Right.
Yeah, I never would put Z Gangsta up in there.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Oh man.
You know who Z Gangsta was?
Who?
Tiny
Tiny
Zeus,
Lister?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I guess he was part of the. I don't remember that.
That's back when WCW was just grabbing any old people from WWF.
Come on, man. His name was Z Gangsta.
It's like, well, he was Zeus in WWF, so let's call him Z Gangsta.
Gangsta. Amazing. Good Lord. The Ultimate Solution.
Unreal.
Yeah, these. Good Lord, the Ultimate Solution he didn't have a great career. Yeah, actually, he was in the Dungeon of Doom in 96 and he died in 97.
Oh God.
Yeah, crazy. All right, so that'll do it for for this week's On the Spot. I love these videos. I think they're fun.
Yeah, they are.
All right, guys, click the link or click the bell so you get notifications. Click the link, subscribe to the YouTube page, and we'll see you guys soon with more videos.